Right, my name is Marko. I'm a software engineer here at Accedo. I'm going to talk about this, beyond brown bag lunches, how we are evolving from learn whatever. So what do I mean by brown bag lunches and learn whatever then? So let's take a look. If you Google this term, brown bag lunches, maybe 1,000 or 1 million hits, I don't know, but very many, I can tell you. And there are various opinions, definitions, you name it, about this term. Maybe the simplest one would be something like this. We eat food and talk about something and solve a specific problem. That is what brown bag lunches are for us in our team, at least. So we do this all the time, right? In fact, if you look at one of our typical lunches, it would be something like this. So talking about work-related stuff, 30 to 80% sometimes, maybe even. Kids not sleeping, some random philosophy and stuff like that. So learning whatever, what is that? I went to the J-Focus conference this year. There was this guy, Sven Peters from Atlassian, talking about coding culture. He also talked a bit about innovation in companies. And according to Sven Peters, many companies tend to have innovation boards or innovation experts or similar that are supposed to do the innovation in the companies. Also, according to Sven Peters, what these companies usually conclude in the end is that innovation is something that has to come from the teams, from the development teams, right? So what do then? You tell them to go and innovate, these teams, and usually nothing happens. And this talk reminded me a bit of how it was when it came to knowledge sharing or learning new stuff at Accedo. I was talking to a certain person many, many years ago here about that we had to learn X or Y for a specific reason because we wanted to accomplish something. So I said, maybe we should have a program or a training program or some kind of more structured way of doing knowledge sharing. I said I could even contribute to it in some parts if needed. And he basically said, yeah, just go and learn whatever you want to learn and use that and do whatever you want. I encourage it, and I was confused because this gave me too much freedom, so to speak. Nothing really happened there either. Of course, something could have happened, but I was too lazy or something, I don't know. So what's the problem here? I think I could summarize the problem in one sentence. It's basically about random people teaching random stuff to random audiences at random times for random reasons. Now, can you spot the word here in this sentence among the sub-sentences that is the problem? Usually a problem in unit tests as well. So yes, it's the word random, right? So who is the teacher in this case? Well, could it be the best Java guru in the team, maybe? What is he going to talk about? Maybe the latest JVM optimizations or something? Who's going to be there and listen to him? Maybe his best friend, I don't know. When should this happen? Not right now, right? Because we're in a hurry. Why? Because it's beardy or nerdy enough? I don't know. So, I mean, we didn't really have this sentence in reality, but sort of. So, how did we solve this at Accedo? We started to specify stuff. So if you just replace this word random with specific, that forces you to start thinking about who should do what and when, right? So what did we actually do then? I'm going to put this very briefly here in this maybe ugly image. But what we did was to send out a bunch of emails to all the dev teams and ask them, so what do you need to learn right now? And the teams, I was talking to 2 teams maybe. What we did was to take a look at our backlogs or our roadmaps, and we saw that we're going to implement microservices or this or that, so maybe we need to learn this or that. So we assembled list with maybe 10 or 20 items or something. Yeah, then we put all this sub-list together in a big organization list, and we would see matches there, right? We had different teams that had the same needs. So that gave us a very clear prioritization on what to do. At the same time, we asked the teams for volunteers to be teachers, right? And these people were not necessarily the best or most nerdy ones, but maybe the ones that wanted to learn something or teach about a specific area they wanted to be pros in. Then we just put the items in a shared calendar. So specific people became team members that knew enough about something or really wanted to learn about it themselves. The specific stuff, well, they were looking at their backlogs and their roadmaps, so it was pretty specific, right? The audience is the teams, obviously, so nothing scary there. Specific times, calendars, pretty specific times to me. And the teams also had, I mean, they had the chance to plan. If they're using Scrum, they could plan for these trainings coming along in the calendars, right? Specific reasons. There were many people showing interest on these trainings in the calendar, so we saw, oh, we have 20 people here attending, so really good reasons. At Accedo, we divide our trainings into two areas, soft or hard, or non-tech or tech trainings. We have lots of trainings. Here are a few sample trainings that we have. We train our teachers to become better instructors. We have simple risk management for teams, testing of microservices, as I mentioned, and ES6 and Babel. Greg will talk about that later as well. Where is Greg? There is Greg, okay. So, is this any good? How do you know if something is good? You ask people, right? So that's what we do. We ask the people, was this any good? What was good? What was bad? What can be better? And it turns out stuff are good, so thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, Marko. Any questions for Marko about the training program? One question, yeah?
Yep.
How often do you have those meetings, non-tech and tech?
The trainings, you mean? Many times a month.
And always the same people who are holding these workshops?
No. Yep.
He wants you to talk to him later.
Okay.
Simply yes
Yeah,
or
I
no.
got that.
Huh?
Simply yes or no. Does it happen on during work hours or after?
During work hours. So it was not a yes or no question, but
Thank you, Marko.
no, thanks.